Hello, beautiful souls. This is our 5th attempt of this video, and yes, I am persistent. So, I realized that I had a Zoom meeting that was on, and I've got a funny feeling I hadn't exited the Zoom meeting, therefore I believe it was actually it was not enabling me to actually speak and for people to hear. So as soon as people jump on, I will be able to find out whether there is sound or not. So thank you to all of those who kept jumping on and saying no sound, Vic. So I can't wait to hear and see if it's finally working now. And this is one of the things, if you are jumping on, please let me know if you can hear me or not. We're on day 4 of the 31-day spiritual upgrade, and I'm so excited to be here with you. It's a nice short one today. Yesterday was very long. It was like 40 minutes or something about entities and demons and angels and all sorts of things. You can hear me now. Thank you. My Zoom was on. I got up at 1:45 this morning to have a call for the mastermind that I'm a part of, and I didn't log out of it, so the Zoom meeting was still on. So kind of funny. All my team members were messaging me, ringing me, going, how do we make this work? And I'm like, just figure it out. So hey, Lisa, Pauline, Dal, nice to see you guys. We've got a nice short one today. So this challenge, this 31-day spiritual upgrade challenge. Now, yes, I do tend to overgive. I do tend to go over time. If I ever say 15 minutes, it's always going to be 30. It's just the way that I roll, because I go into a channel, I go into a riff. But after yesterday's big doozy, and I want to hear from you guys. How are you? Did you watch yesterday? Is this your first live, your 4th live? Is this like, how many videos have you watched? Let me know. Where are you coming in from? Where are you in the world? Come on and say hello. Oh my goodness. Today I want to keep it a bit lighter, okay? Yesterday was kind of like, whoa, people were like, my minds are being stretched right now. Like, do I even believe in the word angel or demon, or what is an entity? How do we clear it? What is possession? Like, there was a lot going on. Yay, celebrating you. What a rock star. 4th live. Yeah, yesterday was deep, right? And some of us love the depth. And some of us are like, holy shit, I need some time to integrate that. If you've been with me for a while, like, Sarah's like, that was lit. You know, Sarah's been working with me for a little while, so she's used to my intensity. And as a projector, I'm like, shoo, really intense. That's how I roll. Yeah, intensity all the way. Chicago. Yeah, where are you in the world? How are you enjoying this experience? We're day 4. We've got like 27 days left or whatever. Like, I can't believe this. I'm so excited about being here. So today's topic is very simple. It's very profound. It's basic. And without this information, without this knowledge, without this embodiment, without this practice, without this information, everything else is a fucking waste of time. To know spirit is to know yourself. Literally. Hey, Lulu. Taranaki, it's cold. It's cold. I've been for 2 walks today, and I was like, I'm putting on my puffer. Close to Chicago, yeah. So, to know spirit is to know yourself. So I've popped it in the description. Like, we've got, inner child work, shadow work, healing, knowing your boundaries. First thing I talk about in Magnificent Mediumship is boundaries and standards. If you've got loose boundaries with human beings, or you've got low standards, what do you think you're going to attract when it comes to the spirit world? Because it's one of the same. Because you're a spirit, right? And spirit is you. You just happen to have a body, and you weren't told that you were spirit. You were, there's clues everywhere, like, oh, I like that person's got spirit. Oh yeah, she's got a lot of spirit. You know how people say that. But if you've got loose boundaries with human beings, you're going to have loose boundaries with spirit, and therefore you're going to attract things like we talked about yesterday. So growth, remembrance, and responsibility. Okay, so I'll repeat this. So to know spirit is to know yourself. And how do we get to know ourselves? So there's many tools, many tools, but Spirit told me to tell you today that your inner child work, your shadow work, knowing your boundaries, continuous growth. Never think you have done the energetics or done the work. Never. Like, you've never done it. We're always doing it, right? It's a never ending thing. People go, I don't need to do your program, or I don't need to do energetics. I've been there, done that. Well, you just literally plateaued. Now it's that next level, right? Remembrance. We are simply remembering who we are and what our genius abilities are in this world. And that is kind of intense because they're not usually what been told. You know, I've been told I was creative, I was a hairdresser, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm no longer a hairdresser. So if I attach my identity to what I was told that I should be and what I was good at, then what happens when you lose that part of you? You lose identity of self. So self isn't about what you actually do. It is actually an embodiment of essence, not what you do, what you have, or how many people, you know, how many friends you have, or if you're a mom or whatever. That's not your identity. That should not be your identity, because those things may not be real in the future. Who are you without those identities? You know, without the, I did this and I did that and I did this and I'm this old and I've got this husband and I've got this house, and like, who are you without all of that? Because that stuff all changes all the time, and you still have you. Wherever you go, that is where you are, right? So if you go, everywhere you go, if there seems to be dramas, you seem to have issues, you seem to have, conflict with people, there might be a common denominator. So responsibility is the last one, okay? So remembrance, remembering who we are, but also responsibility. If you're jumping on, make sure you come and say hello. #replay if you're on replay. I'm going through every single night, and I'm reading all of the comments. I'm replying to a few of them, but I'm going through and reading them all. So I have my eye on you, so please make sure you comment. What is the thing? I'd love to hear from you. What is the thing that has resonated with you so deeply, like deeply so far? Okay, what is the thing that's resonated with you up until now? Now, some of you have gone, oh, thank you for the reminder about entities, or thank you for the reminder about this, or whatever it is. And that's great, because all we're ever doing is reminding each other. There shouldn't be no hierarchy system in this world. There should be no you're ahead of me. We all have a unique genius that we bring to the table in community, and everyone has got different geniuses, okay? And my genius is, for some strange reason, it is talking about spirit and connecting to spirit. It's very, very simple for me, and I remember my past lives, I remember my past planets, I remember my mission, I remember all these things, and this has only happened over the last few years. Hey Nicole, hey Trina. So, inner child, shadow work, healing, boundaries, growth, remembrance, and responsibility. It is your responsibility to look after your soul, to look after your spirit, to look after yourself, and to drop all identity of who you think you are and come into the essence of who you truly are as a body, as a soul, as a spirit. Okay? Not trying to get a certain status to make you feel a certain way, because that will fade. Your looks will fade. Your fancy house will get old eventually. Your children will leave home, and your partner might die, or you may die. I know that sounds really harsh, but you have you. You always have you. And when my daughter says she's afraid of dying, I say, but you don't ever die. You can't. It's impossible. You're always you. And I will always be here with you. You can't die. It's impossible. Wherever you go, that's where you be, right? So, what has popped for you so far? Pop it in the chat box. Let me see your words. Take a seat at the table. Let me hear your voices. Oh my God. Okay. So the biggest thing I want to share with you today, and I want you to write this down, you are spirit. Spirit is you. To know spirit is to know thyself. The problem is we've been taught to look externally for the answers. We've been taught to listen to our brains over our hearts. We have been taught to fit into the box that has, I'm just thinking of Divergent, fit into the box of what you're more like. But the truth is we're all divergents. Have you guys watched Divergent? I love that movie. It's my favorite movie because I was like, I'm a bit of everything. I'm a divergent. I've got the spunk. I've got the intelligence. I've got the humbleness. I've got the kindness. They've put them all in different sectors. It's like, where has the world put us into different sectors? Where have we put ourselves into a category to do with if we're upper class, lower class, if we're from a big family, a small family, if we are number 5 or number 1 in the family unit, if we're a female or a male, if we live in a poor country or a rich country, like where have we created an identity? And that is completely limiting us. And we see this when we watch different programs and, because we can see the programming that happens. Okay, so keeping this short and sweet. You can't go any further unless you understand that you are spirit. It's nearly impossible to be a medium, to be one that's got sustainability, that's got substance, and to actually be regulated and not lose your shit until you realize that you are human and you are spirit. And everybody else is spirit too. I tend to connect in with people's spirits now before they're humans. I can feel energy extremely well because I've spent so much time doing inner work. I spend so much time, I rephrase, doing inner work, looking at my boundaries, looking at my standards, growing. I got up at 2 a.m. this morning to show up to a mastermind class. 2 a.m. And when people say, I can't show up to your call, it's at 5 a.m. or I can't show up, it's 11 p.m. or whatever, I'm like, sweet as, up to you, but I know where I'm going, and it's to the fucking moon, which means I show up at 2 a.m. to a mastermind call. I was up at 3 a.m. this morning doing, not journaling, but listening to one of my mentors, Benjamin Hardy, and I don't do this all the time, but I've created a life by my design where I'm like, I want growth. It's a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. I'm an empowerment coach as well as a spiritual coach, so I like to empower. I'm a spiritual empowerment coach. I like to empower people to know who they are so they can tap into their unique genius and bring their gifts to the world, okay? Because every single one of you is gifted, but it may not be in the way we were taught or told in the education system. Victims, quite often people will be like, this happens to me, why does this happen to me, I'm always this, I'm always that. We've got to watch those narratives, because if you want to do a spiritual upgrade, you have to expand your consciousness. To expand your consciousness, that means that you come to edges, but the edges are, you don't get as triggered, you don't judge as much, you come from a point of view of, this is fascinating, I'm feeling a certain way with this interaction with this person, or this coach that's talking about money, I'm feeling a trigger within my body, what is that? And rather, my coach was saying this today, rather than seeing the gap and seeing the creating separation, you can just expand and get curious and interested in what that other person's bringing to the table rather than judging another. So human codes of behavior, so learning the different, I love psychology, so I love watching everything psychology, because it's like knowing how people are reacting because of their past, or because of the situations, or because of their nurture versus nature, all that type of stuff blows my mind. And human beings with a growth mindset, and human beings that spiritual human beings, so you'll find that most entrepreneurs are spiritual because they believe in something bigger than them. They believe in helping the world in a big way. They're not actually money hungry. That's actually a residue from doing the big work that they do, which is like, look at Tony Robbins and Oprah. It's not about the money, otherwise they would have retired 20 years ago, you know. It's actually about making a difference in the world and not just trying to get to a certain target, monetary wise or fame wise. It's actually about being a contribution on this planet. So to know spirit is to know thyself. And I actually learnt that concept from Lauren Robinson, who was my very first mediumship mentor. And she's got a book called Mediumship in Monologues. And she was on my podcast. She was on my Mum's Time to Shine. Phenomenal medium from Scotland. And yeah, she blew my mind because she's like, we are spirit and we've got to know ourselves. So I went on this journey for like 7 years of diving inward rather than diving outward. And then we have this inward and outward flow. Like, of course, I'm like, well, you've got all these geniuses. Can I learn from you? Can I receive from you, please? Like, wow, I'm so grateful for this experience. Like, we co-create together rather than creating separation, which is what we've been taught. Thank you. And education systems here, so we get to unlearn ourselves. So the point of going into the inner child and the point of going into the shadow work and the healing is not to go sit and marinate in what mum and dad did or did not do for you. Here's a little trick, right? To go back into a memory or maybe a trigger, or maybe you've got some anger or sadness going on. Like, this isn't a life coaching course by any means, but this is just a little bit of a tidbit so you can go get yourself some further help if you need it. And ask, you know, when a situation came up, so maybe you were hurt as a child and maybe that created a micro trauma or a major trauma and you've carried that through in your life and it changed the direction of your life. You can go back to these spaces in a safe place. Obviously, don't rush this type of stuff, and I'm not doing this on this course. I'm just like kind of like dropping it in right now. And you can say, what good came out of that situation? What good came out of that trauma? What good came? And it might be your parents got divorced, or it could be you moved town one day, or your school teacher drew on your painting, right? And then you're like, well, I'm shit at art. So then you wanted to be like a illustrator or an artist, and all of a sudden you had to change direction and put your focus, right? So people and situations definitely impact us in our life, and that's the whole point, right? Because we are creative, we co-create our realities. But you can go back to anything that you're like, didn't have any money, or this happened in my past, so now I'm like this. That's your responsibility to go, actually, no, what did you get from that? What kind of endurance or what type of tools did you get from that? And how did that help you? So reframing the past is really, really powerful, because no one can tell you what your past was except for you. And quite often we amplify it and make it into an entity that may be different from the actual experience. That's why you can have 5 people living in the same house that saw the same, had the same exact experience. Maybe there's one situation that happened and they can all tell you a different story, and that story changes over the years. So coming back to the basics, to know spirit is to know yourself, which means you have to take spirit down off the pedestal, which means you have to rise up to the freaking plate, which means that anyone can connect into spirit if you're at that vibration of spirit and not just in the density of human, okay? So I saw spirit last night. I was lying in my sister's bed because I'm staying at my sister's, and I was like, this is really interesting, because she's a medium as well. And I was like, oh my God, like, she's got a dome in this room, like no spirits can get into this room. I was like, this is fascinating, watching how she had done the energy work in there, which she confirmed for me today. And I was like, there's my great grandma. So hello, I was like, man, you're really short. Like, because my sister, she hears so many things. She can hear baby crying, she can hear footsteps. I'm more claircognizant, but I also see with my knowing. And literally, I was like, holy shit, you're so little. But I was like, am I making this up? Right? Because that's the thing, we're humans, we use our minds. Am I making this up? I was like, no, because other times I'm like, hey, is my nana here? I'm like, no, can't feel her, can't see her. Like, you know, if I try to tap in, I'm like, I can't just tap in. It's like I can't make it happen. If someone says, can you talk to my dad? I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to see. Right? Like, I can't make spirit do anything. I can invite them in. It's like, is my Nana there? I don't know. Is your Nana here? So it's really like tapping into a different streamline, a portal, a different dimension. So yeah, my Nana was there and I was like, oh, hello. Wow, you're quite short. Okay, I'm going to bed now. I said to my sister, our great grandmother, who was psychic she was a full-blown medium but gave it up to the church. I told my sister goes, yeah, she's with me often. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, what's with the dome in your room? No spirits could get anywhere near me. And she's like, yep. I was like, that's so cool. Okay, so what have we learned? How does it feel? I love that, Victoria. I tell that to my kiddos too. Our souls never die. We are always here. Energy can't die. I'm feeling the last boxes that I've been living in slowly melting away. You can just explode out of those boxes too. It's just making a choice, and that's the one thing we need to understand. To know spirits, to know this thyself, which means we're fifth dimensional beings, not just 3D. But when we have got mindset of I'm not good enough, I'm broke, this is my reality, I find it hard to connect, I can't sit. When we're affirming, you got to watch your you got to listen to your own voice. What is the narrative going on? I'm a successful medium, coach. I've got a loving family. My reality is always forever shifting and changing and getting better and better. And I love the now, and I am so excited for the future. That's so different to, oh my God, I've got to drive 5 hours tomorrow. Oh, fuck. I hope someone shows, oh, my lives didn't work 5 times. Like, what is your narratives? Like, are you negative? Are you positive? Like, are you coming from compassion and a heart that's open? Because if you want to connect in with spirit, high vibrational spirits, you have to you can't just say nice things. You have to feel it. You've got to be it, right? So be it, do it, have it. It's definitely been the entity, but for me, it was like a training yesterday. It was like 40 minutes. There were experiences that made me shut down from a child that revolve around entities. I'm finally not afraid. The more I talk about them and understand, there was a point of time I ignored they existed because I was scared. Because you were literally programmed to be scared. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I created a bubble that no one can get through into my room. Yeah, words are so powerful. I'm so much more aware of the language I use with myself, because quite often we're using the language that we heard from our parents as well, and then we don't even realize we're mirroring them because it's been programmed even before we were 3 years old. But what I invite you to do now is to literally comment below or put it in your diary. To know spirit is to know thyself. Or I am spirit and spirit is me. Because I want you to write that down. Write something like that in the chat box right now. Okay? Because I want to see you. I want to hear you. This is a transformation. I'm not fluffy. This is the process, right? To know spirit is to know thyself. Yes. So allowing yourself to know that it's you. It's you. And the more you come into you, the more present you are, the more conscious you are, the more psychic you become, the more attuned to your gifts you'll get, the less fear and the less doubt that you have. I'm spirit and spirit is me. 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 Yay! Okay, my loves. So, finally made it on here. I had my Zoom up, so the first 5 calls didn't work. So it didn't faze me at all. I was like, well, we'll figure this out. Like, whatever. It doesn't matter. I wanted to jump on now because I'm just about to go and have an hour and a half healing session massage with my sister, Rachel Ann from Soul Essence. She is amazing. She's here in Taranaki. And she rubs my heart and she opens a portal and I can time travel to different galactic lineages. And then I'm going to have a spa, and then tonight we've got our spiritual membership. If you are not a spiritual membership, go make sure you check that out. It's something where I go live every single week. We've got breathwork once a month, as well as mediumship mentoring and a digital portal with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and hundreds of dollars worth of like hundreds and hundreds of trainings. Like there's $10,000 worth of stuff in there. It's crazy. So I can't wait to see you tonight if you're in spiritual membership. And yes, tonight, Sarah, at 8 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. I will see you there. And there's a lot of shifting happening, right? So just to kind of finish up here, I keep like needing to burp, and I had a shower before and I was yawning. Like, if you know me, you know that when I channel and when I read, I start, sometimes my eyes close, but I yawn like really intensely. Like I'm like, oh, but it's not a satisfying yawn. It's an annoying yawn. I feel like it's going to happen now, actually. Oh, and I was doing this in the shower, a really hot, long shower before, and I was yawning so hard. I was like, it's like I've been down the ocean and I'm birthing, you know, like I'm coming back up to the air, right, as a mermaid. And it's like, this is the spiritual upgrading. Spiritual upgrading is clearing out the old, remembering who you are, doing the work. So inner child stuff might come up, shadow stuff might come up, but it's not a bad thing. It's a great fucking thing. You get to go deeper within you. Don't be a victim, be a victor by diving in. Getting the support that you need, obviously. You've got me here for a month. So if you have any questions, you can pop it in the group. This is a challenge. But also I've got so many other containers where you can have more in-depth coaching and all the things. So I hope you're enjoying this. I really, really am. 3 a.m. I'll be there. Yeah. That's my kind of girl. I love you guys. I better go before I'm late for my appointment. I'm going to put on my hat. I tell you what. It's cold under the mountain, but so refreshing. And I stole my daughter's little gloves. They're pretty big. So yeah, I'm so freaking excited to see how you are up-leveling. Please, if you haven't already, or maybe if you have, feel free to take a screenshot, to share it, to tag people, to share this group, to invite people to the group. We've got nearly 300 people. My aim is 1,000, but whatever. I like to 10x my goals. The more the merrier for me, and the more transformation we can create for the world, the better. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye.